there are, the main point of this is that you can't get around people and not be like them. Some of the things you want to be like, other things you don't even think you want to be like, but yet they become a part of you. And then you have to step back and say, okay, what did I allow in my life? Was it right? Was it good? And especially when you're around great people like Dr. Sumrall, there's aspects of him that you get. And you it's not necessarily doctrine. I mean, there's some of it doctrinally, but a lot of it has to do with the necessary characteristics to be able to do what that person did. And you have to get those attributes in you. And a lot of times you're getting some, you go after some on purpose, and there's some that you just, I hate to say it, you just kind of catch by being around them. And a lot of times you don't even realize you caught them till years later. And some things you wish you'd have caught and you did catch, but you didn't know you caught it till years later, and it starts coming out. But the thing is, if you look at certain people, like Wigglesworth, the reason Dr. Sumrall was the way he was because he caught some of Wigglesworth because he was around him. And there were things. Now, understand, there was not a real discipleship aspect there. I mean, there was to a degree, but when God orchestrates it, there's this gravitational pull. You know, the Bible calls it deep calleth unto deep. That what you want, and God puts in your heart the desires for you to want those things, and then you want them, and then he connects you with the people that has them, and then he allows those things come into you. Now, you have to be diligent and alert to make sure that there's things that person has that maybe God doesn't want you to have that part, but he wants you to have this part. And, there's the old saying that, show me your friends and show me the books you read, and I'll show you who you're going to be in 5 years, which is true. And there's a lot there that, people say, well, like Wigglesworth, amazing. Everybody wanted him to pray for him and have the miracle work, but they didn't want to hang out with him. Why? Because he was gruff, he was disciplined, and he expected that same thing with the people that were around him. And so he had this really harsh exterior. And then people say, well, yeah, but because it's amazing. Everybody talks about how he punched people and did all kinds of things that we look at and go, well, that's not the love of God. And yet it was. And yet the people that got healed never said it wasn't. It was only people that watched him. And the thing is, there's this, people say, well, he would have been so much more effective if he hadn't had this characteristic. Now, you don't understand. When you start messing with people's personalities, when you take out one characteristic, everything else can reassemble, and you don't have the good. So sometimes you just got to be able to see it, know what's there, and go, well, okay, I don't necessarily have to be like that. But you'll find out in the end, the piece you were missing was the piece you left out. Christianity isn't what we want.